There are certain things which are just deal breakers in a relationship. You can't go without. You lose respect for yourself. When you lose respect for yourself in a relationship, everything falls apart. There's just no way you don't. That's my business, okay? Let me deal with that. That is poetry. And there are so many different aspects to finding the perfect partner because every person is made up of so many different attributes. They have all these different memories and traumas and feelings and preferences and fears and excitements and so many other things. So you have to be very specific when it comes to finding your significant other. After coaching 950 plus women, and pretty much every single one of them, I coach in the relationship element too. This is a composition of finding the best partner you possibly can. Now again, I say this, nobody is 100% perfect. Every single person is going to have flaws. You need to accept that. You're going to argue, you're going to cry, you're going to fight, you're going to hate each other at times, superficially, not actual hate. And that's fine. But the most important thing is there's somebody who you're willing to work through all of that stuff with because you want a future with them. That's what we're focusing on. So first thing is first, just finding yourself. I'm not going to include that in this video because it'll be an extremely long video. I might make a whole video about it at some point or even a video series. You have to have that solid base within yourself, that solid foundation, so you actually know who you are. You're not trying to find yourself in somebody else. That doesn't work. If you try to look for yourself in somebody else, try to discover yourself in somebody else, your whole identity is going to be very unstable. Now, if you have any queries on finding yourself or healing or anything like that, drop me a message on Insta at RayToldMe. I give everybody a free call. Every single one of my clients has started with a free call. Now, once you've found yourself, that's okay. Then by all means, discover more of yourself with somebody. That's fine. That's good. I recommend that. Having a partner who brings even more of yourself out of you, that's beautiful. That is poetry. But not knowing who you are and then just trying to go for anyone just to find that peace and that happiness and that love, that's not going to work so well. Now, there are certain things which are just deal breakers in a relationship. You can't go without. It might be religion, it might be race, it might be age, it might be location, it might be if they drink or do drugs or watch porn or have friends of the opposite gender. It could be anything. But you will have certain things in your head, a certain criteria where you're like, I'm not going against this. This criteria needs to stay. I'm going to say this once more. This criteria needs to stay. You cannot lose yourself in the process when it comes to this, because once you start doing that, you lose respect for yourself. When you lose respect for yourself in a relationship, everything falls apart. Don't ever let that slide. That's the first thing, the deal breakers. Now, there are other stuff, which is just like it rings a bell. Not rings a bell as in it reminds you of something. It's more like alarm bells ringing. If something happens, you're not really okay with it. And that's something that you need to discuss with your partner. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a lady and a man takes you out to dinner. Then he asks to split the bill. Some women might not mind that at all. Some women will find that a complete deal breaker. If it's like, I don't mind it, but it's something I'd like to discuss, by all means. Then obviously if it's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. What do I think about that? I personally think that's a deal breaker. There's no way I'd ever let my woman, forget about even pulling out her purse. I wouldn't even let her know what the bill comes to. There's just no way. You don't. That's my business, okay? Let me deal with that. Now, let's say there's another situation where you're at dinner and he gets kind of rude to the waiter. He gets a bit impatient, it gets rude. And you don't like that. It might not necessarily be a deal breaker, but it's something you want to give up. And my clients have been through similar situations like this before and haven't brought the subject up. And I ask them, why haven't you brought this up? If there's something that bothers you, you're well within your rights to ask about it. And they say they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want, no, it's important you rock the boat at the beginning. It's important you flip the boat over. Let the boat capsize if you have to. Remember, this guy's gonna be putting his best foot forward. He's gonna be doing everything to impress you. So look out for the tiny little things. Okay, so we've discussed the deal breakers and the alarm bells. Now let's take it one step forward. You and your partner need to align for the right reasons. Again, for the right reasons. People always get together for the wrong reasons and it doesn't work. Like someone will be like,
oh bro, I don't know why you make videos for women. My woman left me. Women are horrible. Women are evil.
Tell me about your partner. Why did you get with her? What did you like about her?
Oh, she had really nice legs and she was giving me attitude.
You went for someone. You wanted to spend your whole life with someone because they had nice legs and they were going to give you attitude. And then you're wondering why she walked away. I had this one guy who I no longer speak to, and we were having a discussion. He wasn't a client, he was a friend. And he asked me, he said, do you care if your girl doesn't have big breasts? Bro, what do I care? If she's a good girl, she's keeping me happy, I know she'll look after our kids in the future. She loves me. All the important stuff that a lot of guys tend to overlook in relationships nowadays. So I said, why would I care? He was like, yeah, fair point. I'm like, what about you? He's like, nah, bro, if she didn't have big breasts, she's having breast implants. I'm like, seriously? Like, you need to get with somebody for the right reasons, because when you get with a woman for the right reasons, there's a very, very slim chance she's just going to leave you. She's just going to turn away from you. Women are reciprocators. If you get with a girl because you genuinely love her and you want a future with her and you want to take care of her and you want to have kids with her and you want to build with her and you want to do all of this stuff with her, not because she just looks good or her body looks good or she's hot, and that word gives me the ick. Like, fair enough, if you've been together, you're married, whatever, you call each other whatever you want, but just seeing a girl for the first time and being, oh, she's hot or she's SEXY or this is nasty. But yeah, you get with the girl for the right reasons, she will reciprocate what you give her. So you get with her because you want to give her love, she'll reciprocate that love. Then you have a beautiful relationship. So it's so important your guys' values align. Now there are so many different things you can align on, but I'll just chuck some out there. How godly are they? Do they care about their health? How driven are they career-wise, financially, all the rest of it? Especially if you're more of a traditional relationship, of a dynamic of a man being the breadwinner, then that's really important. And I'll touch on health, but fitness is very important as well. Because health can mean eating good, but that doesn't necessarily mean fitness or an active lifestyle. lifestyle. But to me, the most important one that nobody really ever talks about is heart. How is their heart? Nobody ever discusses this, and I think it's the most important attribute of a person. It's the reason why I mentioned earlier, if you're at a cafe or restaurant, the guy you're with starts shouting at the waiter or waitress, it's very concerning because you want somebody with a good heart. You want somebody who's caring and loving and considerate. In times of trials and tribulations, they're not just going to give up and cave and blow up. No, you don't want that. You want them to be supportive and trusting and strong in times of need, because there will be times of need. Life is going to throw everything at you. So you need to be there for your partner when they're not having the greatest of days, and they need to be there for you. And someone with a good heart will support you like no other. Now, this next part is crucial. I mean this with my whole heart. Never allow certain things to slide. Like, for example, let's say you're in an argument with your partner. They start saying disrespectful stuff to you. They start raising their voice on you. They start putting hands on you, doing things that you would not want them to do. You're not going to allow that to slide. You're not going to make that into a thing. They do it once and they do it a couple of times, and the first time you might say something, and after that it becomes normal. No. That is not allowed. If they start doing things you're not okay with, talking to the opposite gender, or secretly flirting, or watching explicit content, aka porn, without you knowing, things like this, you're not going to allow that to happen if it was an initial deal breaker. If there are certain just morals they shouldn't allow to slide in a relationship. I see this happen all the time. Honestly, with so many of my clients, they'd be like, oh yeah, we broke up a month ago. But the breakup didn't exactly happen a month ago, because the thing is, the relationship started falling apart 3 years ago. They started doing this and this and this, and you allowed it to slide. Then it built up more and more and became into the thing that is today, which is obviously nothing. Now, you shouldn't ever be in a position where your partner is taking advantage of you like that. It shouldn't be a thing. I wholeheartedly would say that. It shouldn't be a thing. But when it does happen, or if it does happen, then you need to take a stand, because otherwise they'll keep happening again and again. Losing yourself in the relationship is one of the worst things you can do. It takes your spark away. It takes your energy away. It takes your glow away. You become a shell of what you once were. Now, I've seen this happen way too many times, and I'm going to leave it on this last point of communication. Communicate. Every single thing that's on your mind, communicate. I know you have trust issues. I know people have hurt you. I know people aren't great. I get it. But if you're planning on spending the rest of your life with this person, you need to communicate. You can't hold things on your chest. I don't care what it is. It can be big, it can be small, it can be... I don't care. Just communicate. Lay out everything. Absolutely everything. Don't hold back. Something's bugging you. Something's disturbing you. Something you don't like. Something's upset you. Something made you happy. Communicate. Thank you so much for doing this. It made me so happy when you did this. You were so thoughtful when you did this. Someone messaged me and said, Ray, my partner doesn't buy me flowers. What should I do? Should I leave? I said, have you told him to buy you flowers? They were like, what? You have to tell him? No, you shouldn't have to tell him. But before you leave, just talk to him. Maybe he thinks he's doing XYZ for you, and he thinks you're so happy and he's doing so much for you. He doesn't realize that actually doing something as basic as buying flowers is something that will make your relationship stronger. Like, he might be working day in, day out and think, I'm working for my wife because I love her and I want to provide for her. But he might not be doing anything thoughtful, like flowers or cards or surprise dates or anything, because his mind is always focused on work. So when you tell him, hey, I would really like it if you bought me flowers, because that would mean so much to me, because I love flowers. And he's like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. It's obvious, but it just didn't cross my mind because I'm always working. So I thought that's something that you would appreciate. If they're not reciprocating, if they're not acknowledging your communication, if they're not listening to you, that's when it becomes a problem. But first, communicate. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram at RayToldMe. I'm way more active there than I am anywhere else. Peace.